It's May, and it's time for the Twinsburg Mayor's Report. Kathy Prokop is here, and we're going to, unfortunately, talk about a little bit more of this winter. But there's a lot of people out there that seem to think that the roads should be, by this point, pristine. And I think people don't realize what a horrible winter we had as far as potholes and et cetera. In the meantime, though, you've compilated a couple figures here. Tell us about potholes and winter events.
Oh, sure. You know, we've had 29 storm events this year. And we did not have as much snow as we had in the past, but we had a lot more freezing cold weather. But 29 storm events, we have filled so far 15,000 potholes. We're not done. We're using a hot mix now that the temperature is a little bit warmer. And we plowed over 67,000 road miles, lane miles, this year. So that's a lot of mileage.
Compared to a normal year, was that a lot more?
Oh, that was a lot more.
Okay.
So it's really been a brutal season here. And one of the things I know that they're talking about the potholes on Route 91 and Route 82, and that's true.
Right.
But we have these major resurfacing projects this year. And, you know, about 2 or 3 years ago, we're looking at the roads, and it was obvious that they really needed attention. But it didn't make sense 2 or 3 years ago to put a lot of money into resurfacing that road when you're going to have it totally ripped up again in a couple of years. And our funding came through for this year. The program came through for this year. So, you know, those are the kind of calls you have to make.
Right.
It would be like throwing good money away. So, so I'm just glad that...
And when you say that, these aren't all things that are being paid by Twinsburg either. These projects...
Right. If they were paid by Twinsburg, we could do them anytime we wanted to.
Right.
But this Route 91 is an ODOT project. They're paying 80% of that project. So we're certainly not going to do a project last year and pay 100% when we know this is coming up. Same thing with the Route 82 project. But the bottom line is that this year those roads will be redone. They'll be in good shape.
And when you know that you have something like that coming down the pike, even if it's a year or two away, are you able to spend more money then in residential roads?
Well, that's what we do. We look at the next level of roads that we need to do. The last time that we had a survey done of our roadway, there were 69% of them were in very good shape. And that's a high percentage for a small community like ours. Our residential roads are in pretty good shape. And obviously the next one that will need attention is Ravenna Road. And even that one, we've done some sections of it over the years. But 82 and 91, I'm glad they're being done this year.
And again, as far as hot patching or whatever you're talking about, you can't do that till the asphalt companies open up either, correct?
Well, right, because during the winter you're using this cold patch mix, and it doesn't last long. It fills the hole in, and as soon as it gets a little bit colder or gets water in, it freezes, it pops out again. That is just constantly, we're going back doing the same holes over and over. The hot patch mix lasts a little bit longer, but it's not available till the weather warms up.
Right. And you don't want to have your entire crew busy doing that the whole time when there's other things.
Oh, I know. And at this time of year, now they're getting the ball fields ready. We are putting 400 tons down of mix on all the ball fields, so that's a big project that we're getting that ready. We do crack sealing that helps prevent our roads from getting potholes and eroding further. Park cleanup. We've done some litter. We've cleaned the city twice now. We've gone through with our street sweeper already once. We've done a general cleanup of the entire city. It's a really, really busy time of year for us.
And those guys are busy all the time.
They are.
Okay. Let's talk about a big thing that you have coming up this month on May 21st. We brought this up before with Keith Shy and those people. You're finally going to have your grand opening of the Nature Center. And this is, what, a Thursday, I believe?
It's Thursday, May 21st. And I think it's at 11 o'clock in the morning. Very, very excited about this. It'll give an opportunity for our residents to finally come out and see the inside of the building. I know you can go by and see the outside. What a project. It is absolutely gorgeous. One of the great amenities they have there is a quarter-mile loop trail. It's called the Maple Loop, and it's an accessible trail for everybody. Okay. In fact, Metro Parks now has it on their Spree for All spring hiking series. So we're real excited about that. That trail will be open. Of course, the Ledges Trail is already open. I don't know if you've been up there, but the amphitheater area, the porch area, it is really something for us to be very proud of. Yes.
Good.
It's great.
Let's stay on the subject of trails. I know this is kind of exciting because I remember originally when Cleveland Clinic planned on moving to your town, one of the talks was, and this would be used for rehab, I'm assuming, we're going to have our own trails around the facility itself for people that are in rehab, and now it looks like they're going to follow through on this.
Oh, they are, and they'll be opening their trail this spring, and all the residents are welcome to use it.
They are, whether you're there or not.
Absolutely, you can park there and you can use the trails. They're inviting everybody in to do that. Very, very excited. Obviously, they recognize the importance of walking and hiking to general overall health and even well-being, just making you feel better.
Right.
So we're very excited. It's another great trail here in the city of Twinsburg.
As it continues. All right, May 5th is Election Day, so if you're watching this, you would have seen it the first 5 days. But let's quickly touch on what Issue 13 and what Issue 14 was, and then we'll move on.
Issue 13 is the Charter Amendment, and this will be clarifying the language of 7A01 in our charter. It will be, one of the things that it's really going to clarify is building heights. As you know, we've had lots of legal discussion over building heights. Should it be voted on? Should it not be voted on? Well, it will go to the vote of the people now to make that decision. So if
it's voted yes, then it's under these new guidelines.
Then it'll be under the new guidelines, and anytime somebody wants a building higher than what's in our code, it will have to go to the vote of the people rather than to Planning Commission and Council.
Okay.
So I have mixed feelings about that. I'm glad the language will be clarified.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, it certainly could slow the progress of anything that we'd like to do in the city. If we have a company that wants to come to Cornerstone Business Park and they'd like, an exception to the building height, it could really slow something down or turn somebody away. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
May 5th, that will be on the ballot.
Okay.
And issue 14 is an actual zoning issue, and that is changing a piece of property from C5, which is mixed use, to C3, which is interchange.
Okay.
And council agreed to put this on the ballot. Our planning commission, our planning director, we feel that this is a good use of this particular parcel of land.
And one last thing, of course, will be the mayor primary, and I'm going to put a plug in to Matt Solera, who put together a nice deal as far as getting to know the candidates, and we were part of that also. But I know you're not a fan of it, and I'm certainly not either, but the point is, at least somebody took the ball and ran with it and gave people a chance to see who's running.
Oh, I'm very happy, and I thank Matt also and the school district for allowing us to use Chamberlain. That was a great venue for it. The candidates for participating. Lots of good information. We had a packed house. I believe there were about,
I was shocked at how many people.
We really did, and I believe there were about 400 people out there. And that's a good feeling to know that people are interested in knowing more about their city, more about the candidates, and making informed decisions. So congratulations to everybody on that.
Okay. Let's talk about your employees. They have to be rather happy because I think this was across the board that you finally approved 3% raises. Is that for everybody?
Well,
except for the administrative spots?
Well, it's for everybody who is non-union. The union contracts are negotiated separately. So we have just recently finished negotiations with the police department, and that was a contract for 333, which is the same that we're offering the fire department. We're in negotiations with them right now. And then across the board, though, the salary ordinance for 2015, non-union employees were given 3%.
How often do you visit that?
Generally, the salary ordinance, we go back every year, and this year is only a one-year salary ordinance. I think a couple times we had it for 2 years, but generally, salary ordinance is 1 year. Union contracts are basically 3 years.
And when you have a raise like that, that kind of puts a little ding in your budget, but you were able to have a $62 million budget approved for this coming year? Is that correct?
did. We approved a $62 million budget. There's lots going on in the city, lots of capital improvements. We have road projects that are going to happen this year, some very big ones. And even though we're only paying 20%, when you talk 20% of Route 91, which is an over $5 million project, that's still a big chunk of money. Same thing for Route 82. Liberty sidewalks. We're doing a Chamberlain Road sanitary sewer project. Let me think. One of the roads in Glenwood Acres, Westwood was last year. At Hillsdale is this year. We finished Warren Parkway last year. So we have continual, as you know, we really have a program for our roadways laid out. We do an annual inspection of them. We put together a 5-year program and work our way through it.
Now, because I know Macedonia has approved, well, it was approved a while ago, but it's finally going to be getting done, phase 3 of the work on 82, which for them is from Crow Drive, I think, up to Chamberlain or up to Twinsburg. What do you have going on Route 82 work-wise this year?
We have from 480 all the way out.
Oh, okay.
So I believe that's the terminus of it, so that's where we're at.
Do you try to time it when you know other communities are working on roads like that?
Well,
or-
you know, again, those...
I know you did with that weirdo intersection.
Right, because we were able to work with Oakwood, Glen Willow,
Yeah.
the city of Twinsburg,
Right.
and that was a joint project.
Okay.
So we were the engineers and we were the lead on it, so we were able to time it that way.
Gotcha.
But when we deal with ODOT and they're doing a project in one community, we certainly hope to tie it all together. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Okay. Get a little in-depth about what the Chamberlain Road sewer project is, because
Well, you know, there are
that
only...
sounds expensive already.
It is. There are, part of that is an assessment project to the residents, but the other part, the larger piece of it, is picked up by the city of Twinsburg, and that will include sidewalks. There are very few places in the city of Twinsburg that are still on septic. In that particular area, and maybe 13 homes or something were still on septic. So that will be a sanitary sewer project, sidewalks, and we're very, very excited about that. The residents are too. We have to have at least 51% of the residents agree.
Agree.
And I believe that this was overwhelmingly that they all wanted it over there. So we're working our way with those, you know, kind of different little spots here and there in the city, and hopefully everybody will be on sanitary eventually. There are new regulations with the counties. So septic is being inspected on a regular basis now by the county. You have to make upgrades. So if we can get sanitary service out to those areas, that's a definite improvement for those.
And let me ask you a personal question, because a lot of these, that for example, sounds like a long, ongoing project. It's no secret that this will be it for you as far as the term of mayor come the first of the year.
December 1st.
December 1st. Is it still, is this a good example of full steam ahead for you as far as I'm not really going to be able to slack off because I have these, you know, major projects coming down the road that need to be done? Are you just going with this like normal right up till December?
Absolutely. I mean, I wouldn't dream of slacking off.
Yeah.
There's so much that has to be done in the city. And we have so many programs. I still represent the community, the residents, the businesses, and, you know, we'll absolutely have my whole heart into it till December 1st.
And then I have to ask you, is it January 1st when they take over? Will you have some time with whoever of the four that we just saw recently?
It's interesting because we're a little different than many cities. A lot of cities begin the beginning of the year, January 1st. But in Twinsburg, right after the election in November, obviously we have a mayor-elect, and the existing mayor, or, you know, the current mayor, only stays in office till December 1st, so it's about a 3-week
So that's 1
transition.
month there in November that you're with this person.
That's it.
Well, you'll be busy then, after 16 years, I'm sure. But let's take our break because we got a lot of time before we worry about November. We'll be talking snow again. I don't want to do that. All right, we'll be right back after you look at the meetings. Back with Mayor Kathy Prokop from the award-winning city of Twinsburg. And speaking of which, the umpteen times you've come on here and made comments about the great police department you have, the great fire department, et cetera, and I always tend to agree with you because I know a lot of those people also. But it's not often that you have somebody who's in line for such a prestigious award as one of your policemen this year. Would you?
Oh, yes, yes, Detective Alan Ternowski. He received an honorable mention nationwide as a top cop. So we're really, really proud of him. It was actually on his own property. He came home and there was a attempted burglary going on. So
at his own house?
At his own house.
Oh,
so it was really something, and it's a great story, but we're very proud of Alan. He's a wonderful detective. We have a great detective bureau in the city of Twinsburg, and he certainly deserves this award. So congratulations.
And these
to
awards
him.
are usually made by other cops and that sort of thing.
Absolutely.
So that's a good indication of their rewarding you that you have some pretty good people working there.
We do. We've had a top cop, several actually, over the years, and in Summit County. So we're very proud of them.
But nationally, that's fantastic.
Nationally,
Congratulations.
it really is.
Now, as I was talking about, I'm already sound like I'm kicking you out the door, but this will be your last Memorial Day. So do you want to put a plug in for the VFW?
Yeah, this is going to be very bittersweet for me because I love the Memorial Day Parade. We have a really patriotic city, I believe. And this year it'll be on May 25th. As always, we start at the high school and we will process down to the square where we'll have the actual ceremony. So many residents come out, our VFW, Boy Scouts, baseball leagues, Girl Scouts.
You know, you mentioned the ongoing group that Joe Jasny and them that take care of that, but they're going to have a busy summer because
they have a very busy summer. That's the VFW Post 4929. And these guys have really been working for the last couple years, but it's stepping up right now. Besides the Memorial Day Parade, which they always do an excellent job, this year they will be ending the day with the dedication of Veterans Park, which is next door to their post. So right there on the square, the little park will be named Veterans Park, and that will be the closing ceremony for the day on Memorial Day. And they will move right into the Cost of Freedom, which will be July, the first week in July, the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, or 3rd, 4th, and 5th. And
again, rare that a city is able to even bring that because you have to come up with over 80 grand to get it to your place.
Right, the fundraising involved. But, you know, more than that, Jeff, so many of these cities have had this kind of thing, the traveling tribute to the veterans, and they've done a nice job, an honorable job. They've set it up. But what's going to happen here over that time period is absolutely incredible. They're setting up a Vietnam village, and they're going to be running the Bob Host Christmas specials, and they have landscaping going in, and all kind of services for veterans and first responders. So I think this is going to be a different event than anybody has seen in this area.
You know, and I was talking to somebody that's involved with this, and they made a mention that, and not something that would cross my mind, but they're actually going to have psychological doctors in there and that sort of thing, because when you're setting up a Vietnam village, you don't know how some of these people are going to, that were actually in Vietnam, are going to react when they come to that and see something. So at least someone is thinking far enough ahead that if that's something we need, we're ready. Absolutely.
You know, so many of these people have held in emotions for a lot of years or don't share them very often, and these things, a display like this can be very, very emotional for them. And the veterans will be there to support them, and lots of other people. And
they have a lot of good, you can get a flag for the entrance. They have a lot of nice fundraising ideas going on for that.
Great fundraising ideas. I'm glad you brought that up. If you're interested in purchasing a flag, you can do that.
Which we did.
It will be displayed along the pathway up to the event itself, and there's a nice plaque that goes on it, and it can be in memory of somebody or just in support of someone. Also, it can have the emblem of whatever military service or police and fire. So,
and you're able to get it back after.
And you get it back afterwards, then it's yours.
Okay. Let's move on to another important event which happens each year. This time it's over at your place, because I know in the last couple of years you started sharing it with the Nardoni group. And that's Relay for Life, who this year celebrates the anniversary.
Yes, it does. And this is 15 years of Relay for Life in the city of Twinsburg. Of course, we've been partners with Nardonia for a while. But it will be on, let me think, June 6th. And it runs from noon to midnight, which I think is a nice change. It's, you know, of course, when something starts, it's a lot of fun. You get to have a lot of enthusiasm, and it's still a great, great event. But you run out of steam a little bit when you do it over and over. So they're going to make it a shorter time span, and they're expecting big crowds for their 15th year.
Day versus all night.
Yeah. And I think that's going to, I know some of our seniors have been saying, you know, that whole 24-hour span is a lot for them. So we're cutting it in half to 12 hours. We're expecting a lot of people, and certainly hope you'll get a team and join us.
And I'm sure if you get on your website, you can get a hold of the committee if you want to get a team together. That
Definitely.
Sort of thing. Okay. Now, I know you have a lot of other, let's get to some of these other things, and luckily a lot of these have to do with warmer weather, since we're always talking about Christmas and that sort of thing. Talk about the Keep Twinsburg Beautiful Day, Cleanup Day. You have a paper shredding day. Can we go through a bunch of
All right, let me try to remember all the dates. The Cleanup Day is going to be on May 16th, and this is at Glen Chamberlain Park.
And what happens that day?
You come out, and everybody gets a T-shirt. You get bags to clean up the city. There will be a lunch afterwards. It starts at 9 o'clock. It goes to 1:30. And I said Glen Chamberlain. It's Glen Meadow. Again, May 16th. So if you're interested, let us know. We're expecting. We had 80 people last year. We're expecting about 250 this year.
Nice.
So it's a nice event.
Now, what do you
nice
go up and down
event.
roads, or do you go into the woods, or what exactly do you as far as cleanup?
We do a little bit of both. We really try to look at some of our open spaces in the city where trash kind of collects and people don't pick it up. And those are the areas. Neighborhoods, if we know that there's a neighborhood, depending on the age too, we're not going to send children
go up to the ledges and clean.
But anyway, that's a fun event coming up. And then on May 23rd, our water park opens, so you can still get discount tickets till it opens on May 23rd. Let's hope it's warm by May 23rd, the way things are going.
And excuse me if I'm wrong, but does that include neighbors as far as other communities
yes, it
also?
Does.
Okay.
Yes, it does. And we have our Shredding Day, which is June 13th, and this is at Kent State University on Creekside. Takes place from 9 to 12, backed by popular demand. Everybody's looking for big shredding days, so that will be.
We've used them before. Believe me, you can get rid of a lot of stuff that way.
Right.
So all those are coming up. You want to mention this is important because the Garden Club asked you to remember.
Oh, yes, they did. They are having their plant sale, and this is coming up in May. And let me find the date on that. I think it's May. Yes, it's May 9th at 9 o'clock at the Red Barn, which is on Route 91. Plant sale. This is all locally grown. The Garden Club members grow the plants. Beautiful specimens out there. So 9 o'clock, Red Barn on May 9th.
Okay, and also you want to put a plug in for Great Expectations?
Great Expectations. I went to one of the most amazing things. Obviously it's the show choir.
Yeah.
They've been grand champs over 150 times. Fabulous performances. This is the first time that I can remember ever that they produced a play and performed a play. And they did Joseph in his Technicolor Dreamcoat this past weekend. It was absolutely amazing.
At the high school, I assume?
It was at the high school, and loved every minute of it. So congratulations. Great talent in our city. I know that there was Coffee for a Cause. Money went to the burn victim, the burn unit. And that event was at the library. I think it started like at 7 or 8 o'clock and went on till 11 at night.
Wow.
We have so many talented children, and I'm really excited that we have all of these venues for them and ways to participate and show the community what they can do.
And that was the library, and another reason why they win their awards every year. They do all these different other things. And plus, Laura hosted the candidates night, so they do get involved with a lot of different things.
They do, and that's a nice plug for Laura because she really is. She's such a community-minded person, and no matter the age or whoever you are, if there's something that's going to benefit the community, Laura's behind it. She steps up and does it, and we appreciate that.
And we're going to close probably a little bit early this time, but have you hired all the summer help? And if you have, when do they start doing like their orientations to get acclimated with what they'll be doing for this summer?
Well, we'll have a couple different orientations. First of all, yes, we have our volunteers in place for our day camps. Day camps start the first week in June, so those are coming up. All kind of day camps. We have science camp and magic camp and dance camp and great things for the kids. So all of our camp counselors are in place. Our summer help's in place. We're ready to roll that out. And then depending on what department or what program they're working at, they will be having some orientations. The other thing that we have coming up is Rock the Park. It's going to open with Almost Queen on June 12th.
Which is very popular, I know that.
Right, and we are also having this year the Pops coming back, and that'll be in conjunction with the Cost of Freedom and Michael Stanley and the Resonators.
They'll be back.
So we have a real nice headliner
so it should be a busy summer in that department also.
Busy summer.
Okay. Hey, I'm letting you go early this time.
All right.
We're going to close down, get on out. We'll be back again, and we'll be talking about a lot of these summertime programs when you return next month, and maybe comment on the 2 ballot items and the mayor-to-be, or at least 2 of the mayors-to-be as they get voted on May 5th. Thanks for coming by.
Perfect. Thank you.